everyone. Our poster is talking about morality of war. Warfare is one of the most inconsistent of all human activities, even though warfare is almost universally condemned as one of most horrible of human events. It is also a tragically commonplace feature of human life.
Some wars are opposed to the concept of war morality. Some argue that morality ceases to exist once the guns are fired, while others argue that no possible moral theory could justify the extraordinary horrors of war. The first group is sometimes referred to as the realists, the second group is the pacifists. The task of just war theory is to strike a balance by justifying at least some wars while also limiting them. While realism had its supporters, few philosophers find it convincing. The most serious threat to the just war theory is pacifism. And right from the start, we must remember that this is a genuine challenge. The idea of a just war could be a mirage. This entry, on the other hand, investigates the conflict between realism and pacifism. It begins by sketching out the central substantive divide in contemporary just war theory before delving into the underlying methodologic scheme. It then goes on to discuss the moral evolution of wars in general, as well as individual acts within war.
Because soldiers can't justify the act of killing each other solely because they are opponents, lesser evil justifications like consent to killing or appeal to liability, the act of killing someone to avoid a bigger catastrophe, defends their moral status by judging whether it was morally just or unjust. Examples of just war in self-defense, as long as there is a reasonable possibility of success, preventive war against a tyrant who is about to attack, war to punish a guilty enemy. An unjust war is defined as a conflict where one party attempts to enforce dominance over another party.
Okay, for info number 3, in the wider scale, war must only be waged by legitimate authority. That is so that war will not happen all around the world and innocent people will not lose their lives. And the humanity will grow because of that. And they also must have cause to it, so that they will not have a war just because of a trivial reason. And one of the cause can be for self-defense, or if the opposing country did something horrible to their country. And it should also be one of the last resort. For example, if the two countries are having an argument, they can solve it with a political talk to maybe come to an agreement. But if it does not work, war should be one of their last resort to solve the conflict. There's also 3 principles of conduct in wars that's used by almost all the countries. That's so that morality of war can actually be kind of held in a sense. One of them is discrimination, is to not attack civilians. The other one is proportionality. That's the harm must equal to the gain. That means like if they're attacking the country, they're harming the country, it should be equal to the gain that they get. And for action must be military necessary. That means the military has a goal, and all the actions that's taken should be towards achieving the military goal, not to harm the civilian or the country.
In a nutshell, the nature of warfare is changing rapidly, and morality needs to keep up. It is likely that these particular principles will need to be revised. But we should not imagine that the underlying ethical issue have changed. In a sense, war is inherently immoral, but that is still the case. To justify it, there needs to be an important moral justification, although an imperfect just war theory is one way to seek such justification. Thank you.